16 stunning perennial flowers to transform your garden, all season long. Hello, my friends. Welcome back to Earthly Delights, where we turn every corner of your home and garden into a living, breathing sanctuary. If you've ever felt that endless cycle of planting flowers every spring, only to watch them fade away by fall, this video is your turning point. Whether you have a cozy balcony filled with pots, a small patch of backyard soil, or even just a few sunny windowsills, today's story is for you, the dreamers, the nurturers, the plant lovers who want beauty that lasts. Because there's something deeply satisfying about stepping outside and seeing blooms that remember you. Flowers that come back stronger each year, rewarding your care with color, fragrance, and life. These are not just plants. They're quiet companions that grow with you through the seasons. In this video, I'll share 16 stunning perennial flowers that can completely transform your garden, giving you color from spring to frost and peace every single day. So grab your tea, take a deep breath, and let's explore together the plants that keep on giving. And before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to Earthly Delights, your weekly escape into the art of growing, nurturing, and creating beauty that truly lasts. Part 1, Spring Awakening. Flowers that start the year in style. Spring is when the earth exhales again. Soft air, new colors, quiet excitement. It's the season every gardener lives for. And if you're someone who loves seeing life return after months of stillness, these first blooms are your reward. Let's begin with the perennials that awaken your garden's heartbeat each spring. 1. Peony, Peonia, the queen of spring elegance. There's a reason gardeners call the peony the queen of spring. With petals that unfold like layers of silk, this flower brings grace and nostalgia to any space it touches. Peonies aren't just about beauty, they're about patience and reward. The first year you'll see a few shy blooms, by the third a full parade of color. Their large, fragrant blossoms can fill a vase or transform a quiet corner into a scene from a dream. If you love romance in your garden, the kind that feels timeless, plant peonies where morning light can kiss their petals. They thrive in cool soil, need little fuss, and once rooted, they'll return faithfully for decades. Even after the blooms fade, their glossy green foliage keeps the garden lush and alive. For anyone longing for a touch of old-world charm that comes back stronger each year, the peony never disappoints. 2. Iris, bearded Imhanasibirian. The painter's flower of rebirth. The iris is nature's brushstroke, elegant, bold, and full of character. When these blooms appear, it feels like the garden has taken its first deep breath of the year. With tall stems crowned by ruffled petals in blues, purples, yellows, and whites, irises bring a painter's palette to your spring landscape. They symbolize renewal, wisdom, and hope, the perfect spirit for the start of a growing season. Irises love sunlight and well-drained soil, living by a simple rule: wet feet, dry knees. That means they like moisture at the roots but prefer their rhizomes exposed to air. Once established, they're loyal bloomers, returning year after year with almost no care required. In smaller spaces, Siberian irises thrive in pots and still deliver that elegant drama. And when the wind moves through their petals, it's like a whisper from nature saying, "You made it through another winter, and now life begins again." 3. Shasta Daisy, Leucanthemum. The eternal smile of the garden. There's something about the Shasta Daisy that feels like pure happiness. Those crisp white petals circling a golden heart seem to smile at the sun itself. Simple, cheerful, and timeless. Shasta daisies bring a bright innocence that lights up any garden, from a sprawling backyard bed to a single pot on a small porch. These perennials bloom generously from late spring into summer, often returning with even more vigor each year. They thrive in full sun and well-drained soil, asking for very little but giving so much. Even after a rain, their petals stand proudly, clean, radiant, and strong. They're perfect for new gardeners who crave success without stress. Cut a few stems for your kitchen vase and they'll last for days, spreading that same sunny joy indoors. If your garden needs a burst of optimism, plant Shasta daisies. They're like living laughter that never fades with the seasons. Part 2, Summer Glow, color that heats up with the sun. When spring softens into summer, the garden changes rhythm. brighter days, stronger light, and blossoms that dare to shine under the sun's full gaze. This is the season for fearless color and effortless beauty. These next perennials don't just survive the heat, they celebrate it, turning every corner of your garden into a living sunset. Septari echinacea, coneflower, the healer's heart of the garden. If resilience had a flower, it would be the echinacea. Standing tall with bold, daisy-like petals that arch around a spiked center, this plant radiates strength. Known as the coneflower, it thrives through drought, wind, and neglect, yet still blooms with grace from midsummer into fall. Its colors range from deep magenta to sunrise orange, filling your garden with warmth and vitality. Echinacea is more than beautiful. It's healing. For centuries, it's been used in herbal medicine to strengthen the immune system. But even beyond that, there's something soulful about it. When bees and butterflies gather around its blooms, your garden feels alive, purposeful. Perfect for sunny borders or large pots, it asks for little more than sunlight and good drainage. And when the season ends, its seed heads feed winter birds, a final act of generosity before resting. In every way, the coneflower reminds us that true beauty endures. Live, Rudbeckia, black-eyed Susan, the golden soul of summer. Few flowers capture pure sunshine the way Rudbeckia does. With its bright yellow petals and dark chocolate center, the black-eyed Susan glows like a lantern in the heat of summer. It's the kind of flower that never complains, standing tall through scorching days and unexpected storms, always ready to bloom again. These perennials are among the easiest to grow, making them a favorite for busy gardeners and beginners alike. They thrive in poor soil, need minimal watering once established, and bloom tirelessly from midsummer to fall. Place them where they can bask in full sun, and they'll reward you with waves of cheerful color that attract bees, butterflies, and admiration from every passerby. In containers or garden beds, Rudbeckias pair beautifully with purple echinacea or blue salvia for a striking contrast. They're symbols of joy and endurance, reminding you that even in life's hottest seasons, a little golden light can make everything brighter. Chapter 6. Gaillardia, blanket flower, the flame that never fades. Gaillardia, or blanket flower, looks as if it's been kissed by fire. Petals painted in warm reds, oranges, and yellows that seem to glow under the summer sun. Native to the Americas, it's a flower with a wild spirit, thriving in places where other plants surrender. It laughs at drought, dances in the heat, and keeps blooming long after many others fade. Each blossom looks like a tiny sunset, and together they form a living tapestry of color that lasts from early summer until frost. For gardeners who crave easy brilliance, Gaillardia is perfection. It thrives in lean, sandy soil and never demands more than sunshine and space to breathe. If you're building a low-maintenance border or filling a balcony with color, this plant delivers. It's the kind of flower that keeps its promise. Once planted, it stays loyal, returning every year with the same fiery passion that reminds you why you fell in love with gardening in the first place. 7. Coreopsis, tick seed. The golden dancer of the garden, Coreopsis is the flower that never stops smiling. With delicate petals fluttering like golden butterflies, it fills gardens with energy and light. Its blooms come in cheerful shades of yellow, pink, and even red-tipped varieties. Always bright, always full of joy. If your garden ever feels dull in the middle of summer, Coreopsis is the cure. This perennial is a gift for those who crave color without effort. It thrives in heat, handles drought with ease, and blooms continuously from early summer until the first chill of autumn. Even a small breeze sends its blossoms swaying, giving your garden the feeling of constant motion and life. Coreopsis thrives in containers just as beautifully as in open soil, making it a perfect choice for balconies and patios. It doesn't just bring color, it brings cheer. Every petal seems to whisper, "Keep blooming, keep shining." A reminder that even the smallest space can hold endless joy. Part 3. Fragrance and serenity. Plants that calm the soul. After summer's bold display, the garden softens, trading fiery colors for gentle scents and soothing tones. This is where fragrance takes center stage, where every breeze carries calm. These next perennials don't just decorate your space, they heal your mind. They're the plants that invite you to slow down, breathe deeply, and simply be. Chiate, rose, shrub, or English rose. the timeless heart of every garden. No flower tells a story quite like the rose. It's the language of love, grace, and quiet strength, a plant that has shared human history for centuries. Each bloom feels like a small miracle, unfolding petal by petal, releasing a fragrance that can turn any garden or balcony into a place of pure serenity. Modern shrub and English roses are surprisingly easy to grow, even for beginners. They thrive in sunlight, appreciate good airflow, and can live happily in large containers if space is limited. Once established, they'll return year after year, blooming in waves from spring to fall. For many gardeners, the rose becomes personal, a flower that marks moments and memories. Whether it's the soft blush of a Lady of Shalott or the deep pink of an Olivia Rose Austin, every variety carries its own soul. And when it blooms, it reminds you that patience, care, and love always find their way back to you. 9. Lavender, the fragrant guardian of peace. Lavender is the scent of calm itself. The moment you brush its silvery leaves, the air changes. Its slender purple spikes bring beauty and balance, filling gardens, balconies, and even windowsills with tranquility. More than a plant, it's a mood, a gentle reminder to pause and breathe. This sun-loving perennial thrives in dry, well-drained soil and prefers to be left alone rather than overwatered. It asks for one simple promise: prune it lightly each winter to keep it compact and graceful. In return, lavender will bloom faithfully from late spring through summer, attracting bees and butterflies to your space. Perfect for lining walkways, framing patios, or growing in terracotta pots, it turns ordinary corners into calm sanctuaries. Whether you harvest its flowers for sachets, teas, or simply to enjoy the scent on a warm afternoon, lavender becomes a quiet friend, a guardian of peace in your home and garden alike. 10. Salvia, sage, the song of the summer garden. Salvia is a plant that hums with life. Its tall spikes of violet, pink, or indigo flowers rise like musical notes, calling to every bee, butterfly, and hummingbird nearby. In summer, when the garden is in full rhythm, salvia keeps the melody going, blooming from late spring to fall with almost no interruption. It thrives in full sun and well-drained soil, asking for little but giving endlessly. Once it starts flowering, you can simply trim away spent blooms, and it will reward you with fresh waves of color. The more you give it attention, the more it sings back in blooms. For container gardeners, compact varieties like Maynight or Caradonna fit perfectly into patio pots and raised beds. The scent of its leaves and the shimmer of its flowers bring both color and calm, a balance every garden needs. With salvia, you're not just growing a plant, you're inviting harmony into your outdoor sanctuary. Part 4, Shade Charm, where gentle light meets soft beauty. Not every garden corner basks in the sun, and that's a gift in disguise. Shade invites a quieter kind of beauty, where colors are softer and textures whisper instead of shout. These perennials thrive where light is filtered and calm, proving that even in the shadows, your garden can glow with elegance and life. 11. Hydrangea, the painter of light and shade. Hydrangeas are the poets of the garden, soft, abundant, and full of quiet drama. Their globe-shaped clusters change color with the soil, shifting from dreamy blues to romantic pinks, and sometimes both at once. Few flowers capture the mystery of light and shade as gracefully as this one. They thrive best in partial sunlight, where mornings are bright and afternoons are calm. Too much sun and their delicate petals may fade. Too little and the blooms will rest. But find that balance and hydrangeas will reward you with months of color from summer to fall. In containers or garden beds, they adapt beautifully. Their lush foliage adds fullness, while their blossoms bring softness to shaded patios and porches. When the season ends, their dried blooms remain as sculptural memories of summer's light. With hydrangeas, even the quietest corner becomes a masterpiece of peace and beauty. 12. Phlox, creeping or garden. The fragrant carpet of color, phlox is the flower that turns simple spaces into storybook scenes. Whether it's the creeping variety that spills over stones or the taller garden type that sways gracefully in summer air, phlox fills every inch with softness and scent. Its star-shaped blooms cluster so densely that they look like a blanket of living color. White, pink, lavender, or violet, brightening even the shadiest corners. Phlox is beloved by bees and butterflies, yet gentle enough to grow near seating areas and walkways where you can enjoy its fragrance up close. It prefers moist, well-drained soil and gentle light. Morning sun with afternoon shade is ideal. For those gardening on balconies or patios, compact varieties work beautifully in wide, shallow containers. As it spreads, phlox becomes a symbol of quiet abundance, proof that beauty doesn't always need the spotlight. Sometimes it simply thrives in the soft places. 13. Chrysanthemum mum, the crown jewel of autumn. When most flowers begin to fade, chrysanthemums rise, bold, full, and bursting with color. Known simply as mums, these flowers are the finale of the gardening year, painting the landscape with gold, burgundy, pink, and bronze just as the air turns crisp. Their layered petals catch every bit of autumn light, glowing like embers in the shortening days. Plant them in spring, and by fall, they'll reward you with mounds of blossoms that can last for weeks. Mums thrive in full sun and rich, well-drained soil, asking only for regular pinching early in the season to grow compact and strong. In containers or garden beds, they bring warmth and energy to fading gardens. Even a single pot of blooming mums can revive a porch or patio. When they open, it feels like the garden is giving you one last gift, a grand celebration before winter's quiet return. Part 5. Wild Spirit and Pollinator. Heaven, some gardens are meant to be perfect. Others are meant to be alive. This next part is for those who love movement, bees, butterflies, and the untamed rhythm of nature. These perennials don't just bloom, they build ecosystems. They feed the pollinators, invite the wild back home, and remind you that beauty is at its best when it's free. 14. Bee balm, Monarda, the firework of the pollinator garden. Bee balm is nature's celebration, a burst of color that seems to dance in midair. Its shaggy firework-like blooms come in brilliant shades of red, pink, and purple, drawing in hummingbirds, bees, and butterflies as if by magic. Stand near one in full bloom, and you'll feel the garden hum with life. This perennial loves sunlight and moist, well-drained soil, though it forgives a little shade. It grows fast and blooms from midsummer to early fall, bringing vibrancy when other plants start to tire. Its aromatic leaves release a spicy, minty scent when brushed, a natural perfume for your garden. Plant bee balm in clusters for the best effect, and give it room to breathe to prevent mildew. In return, it'll fill your garden with color, movement, and joy. Bee balm isn't just a flower, it's a reminder that your garden is part of something much larger, a living, breathing community. 15. Yarrow achillea, the healer of the wild garden. Yarrow is the quiet strength beneath the chaos, a plant that thrives where others struggle. Its feathery foliage and flat clusters of tiny blooms bring a meadow's softness to any garden, blending effortlessly with both wild and formal designs. Available in shades of yellow, pink, red, and white, yarrow adds both texture and timeless charm. It's one of the toughest perennials you can grow. Drought-tolerant, deer-resistant, and happy even in poor soil. Once planted, it needs almost no care, yet blooms from early summer through fall. Its nectar-rich flowers invite bees and butterflies daily, turning your garden into a haven for pollinators. Historically, yarrow has been valued for its healing nature, used in herbal remedies for centuries. But even without that lore, it heals in another way, by teaching you that beauty doesn't demand perfection. Sometimes it's the simplest, most resilient things that make a garden and a gardener truly complete. 16. Blanket flower trio, the living sunset of the garden. Imagine your garden glowing like the last rays of a summer evening. That's the magic of the blanket flower, especially when paired with echinacea and yarrow. Together, they create a tapestry of reds, yellows, and purples that feels alive with warmth. This trio isn't just visually stunning, it's a full ecosystem in bloom, feeding bees, butterflies, and even birds long after summer ends. Blanket flowers themselves are fearless bloomers, thriving in full sun and sandy soil where many flowers fade. They ask for almost nothing, no fertilizer, no fuss, yet bloom nonstop until frost. Mix them with other sun lovers and you'll have color that never quits. Perfect for open borders, wildflower corners, or large patio pots, this combination embodies freedom and endurance. It's not just about growing plants, It's about creating a small world where every petal, every visitor, and every breeze tells a story of light, life, and connection. Part 6. 3 essential garden tips and tricks. Now that your garden is bursting with color and life, let's make sure it stays that way. Season after season. These next 3 simple habits are the secret language of thriving gardeners. They save time, strengthen your plants, and keep your blooms coming back brighter each year. Small actions, powerful results. Let's begin. Tip 1. The Bloom Ladder Plan. Continuous color from spring to frost. A truly alive garden never goes quiet. It flows from one bloom to the next like a symphony. That's the power of the Bloom Ladder Plan. The idea is simple. Plant your perennials in a way that ensures something is always flowering. Early spring stars like peonies and irises start the show, followed by summer performers like echinacea, rudbeckia, and salvia. Then as the year winds down, chrysanthemums and asters carry the final notes into autumn. Think of your garden as a relay race. Each plant hands the baton to the next. This rhythm keeps your space colorful, full of pollinators, and never dull. For small gardens or balconies, even 3 containers, one spring, one summer, one fall, can create the same effect. Once you experience a full bloom cycle, you'll never see gardening as work again. It becomes something deeper, a living calendar that celebrates every season with color and joy. Tip 2. The 5-minute routine. Small habits, big results. Gardens don't need hours of labor. They need consistency. The 5-minute routine is the secret every seasoned gardener swears by. Just 5 mindful minutes a few times a week can keep your perennials vibrant and healthy all year long. Start by taking a slow walk through your garden or balcony. Remove a few faded blooms, check the soil's moisture, and gently prune any unruly stems. These quick touches keep plants focused on producing new flowers instead of seeds. If you notice pests or dry spots early, they're easy to fix before becoming real problems. It's not just maintenance, it's connection. That quiet time among your plants resets your mind and teaches you to notice the little victories. A new bud, a bee's visit, a leaf reaching for the sun. 5 minutes of care creates beauty that lasts far beyond the moment. A daily ritual of calm and growth for both you and your garden. Tip 3. Smart division and reuse. Multiply beauty, not effort. Every few years, even the healthiest perennials need renewal. And that's where the magic of division comes in. It's the gardener's version of multiplication. One plant becomes 3, 4, or even more. Shasta daisies, phlox, and irises love this treatment. When their centers start thinning or blooms shrink, it's their way of saying, it's time to share. To divide, gently dig up the plant, separate the healthy outer sections, and replant them in new spots, or gift them to friends. The old root ball can be composted to enrich your soil again. It's a cycle of giving and growing that costs nothing but a little time. Division keeps your garden fresh, prevents overcrowding, and encourages stronger, longer-lasting blooms. It's the most rewarding kind of abundance, one that turns your garden into a gift that keeps spreading beauty, season after season, a garden that grows with you. Every flower you've seen in this journey, from the first spring peony to the last autumn mum, carries more than color. It carries meaning, patience, and life. A garden built with perennials isn't just a space of soil and petals. It's a living timeline of your care, your hope, and your joy returning each year. You don't need acres of land or endless free time. Even a few pots on a balcony or a small corner of sunlight can hold a world of renewal. These plants remember your touch, your watering, your quiet moments with them, and they bloom again to thank you. So as you plan your next planting, remember this. You're not just growing flowers, you're growing time, beauty, and peace that will revisit you season after season. If today's journey inspired you, I'd love to hear from you. Tell me in the comments which perennial you'll be adding to your home garden next. And if you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe to Earthly Delights for more stories, inspiration, and plant wisdom every week. Together, we'll keep growing a world full of life.